Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Vishakha Sherke from Universal College of Engineering, Department of Computer Engineering. In today's session I will explain the radial basis function with the help of example. Students, till now we have seen the classification using supervised and unsupervised learning. Okay, so we have seen SVM and a support vector machine where we have solved the problem of linearly separable data as well as non-linear data. Okay, so here radial basis functions are a special class of functions for non-linear model. Okay, what do you mean by the linear and non-linear? If data points are easily separable, okay, means if we can easily identify the hyperplane equation, then it is easy for us to identify the hyperplane equation in between the data points. Okay, so now radial basis function are effectively used for the non-linear data points, and it is based on the Cover's theorem. So what the Cover theorem says? Cover theorem says that if data point is not linearly separable, then what we can do? We can apply the radial function, okay, so that the initial data points will be elevated to the higher dimensional space. Okay, so we'll see in the details. Here Cover's theorem says that non-linear problem can be linearly separable when the problem is elevated to higher dimension space. Okay, means what we will do, we will plot the initial data points into other values. Okay, and how we can convert the initial data points into other value? We will use the radial function here. So whenever we are transforming the initial values, not necessary our values will be maybe should increase. Okay, there are two chances, either our values will be increase or decrease. Okay, it always depends on the center point which we have selected for the classification. Okay, so typical radial function is shown here, which is nothing but h of x. Okay, this is applicable at the hidden layer. Okay, so h of x is nothing but exponential minus in bracket x minus c bracket square divided by r square. Okay, now what is x minus c bracket square? C is nothing but the center which we have selected for the classification, and r is nothing but the radius. Okay, radius is nothing but the distance of this point from the, or distance of boundary, we can say boundary of the selection. Okay, so we can see the RBF network here, radial basis function network. Okay, it is same like the neural network architecture, which consists of input layer, hidden layer and output layer. Okay, this is a single layer. Okay, this is single layer network we have shown here. So in the single layer RBF network, there is only one hidden layer. Okay, and at the hidden layer we apply the radial basis function so that these initial data points will be transformed into other data point, that is higher dimension space, and with the help of weight, okay, we will decide the output class at the final. Okay, so here our architecture of RBF is shown, where the three layer have been shown. Okay, that is input layer, output layer and hidden layer. The focus here on the single layer network is single hidden layer. Okay, here in the hidden layer we will apply the non-linear mapping. Okay, so let's see the basic architecture of RBF network, which I have shown in the above diagram, which consists of input, hidden and output layer, and RBF network is having exactly one hidden layer. Okay, we have seen this. And then this generally what we do, generally whatever the features, okay, whatever the features the data point are having, those features are transformed into higher dimension space. Okay, so here the hidden, it is also called as the feature vector. Okay, this hidden layer is also called as the feature vector, where the features are where we select the feature where we select the features and we transform to the higher dimension space. Importance whenever we are transforming the data point, not necessarily every time. Now in our example we are transforming the input, okay, and these inputs are nothing but the parameters or observation for that particular for any particular problem. Okay, so that's why, suppose any problem means suppose facial recognition is there, or if stock market prediction is there, or online online shopping trend analysis is there. So we will collect the data with the different parameters, मतलब how much time person is spending on which side, how much the particular spending is there, then what kind of particular type of selection is selected. It always depends on the different environment, means we do some shopping related to festival, we do some shopping related to the season. So all these are nothing but the input, and these inputs are also called as the feature for that particular problem. So the hidden layer, what hidden layer does, hidden layer consider all these features, okay, and with the help of our okay, with the help of our radial basis function, okay, it map those features into the higher dimension space. Okay, so that's why the word is written here, feature vector. Now and after considering all these features, okay, all the web browsing data, now we want to predict or we want to analyze what kind of classification that particular problem will do. So that's why all these feature will be collected into the feature vector, okay, before applying the nonlinear transform, okay, so that we can effectively solve the classification problem. So we can see here, next is what Covers theorem. Okay, let's see the Covers theorem. So Covers theorem, what Covers theorem says? Covers theorem states that a complex pattern, okay, a complex pattern classification problem cast in high dimensional space non-linearly is more likely to be linearly separable than in the low dimensional space. What exactly it means? It means that whenever we plot input data into low dimensional space, then it looks like it is not possible to linearly separate this data point. Okay, but if we, so that's why that problem will be called as the complex problem. Why? Because that particular pattern we cannot classify. Okay, what do you mean by the complex pattern classification? Some we suppose, see this example, okay, in the next we have to solve this problem, means this is the XOR gate and we have to classify 0 0 and 1 1 into one class and 0 1 and 1 0 into another class. If you see this diagram, it is not possible to classify this 0 1 and 1 0 into one class. We can't draw such line so that these two 0 1 and 1 0 will be in one class and 0 0 and 1 1 will be another class. Okay, so this problem will be called as the complex pattern classification problem. So Covers theorem states that if we cast in high dimensional space, okay, high dimensional space means what? We will transform the values of each data point with the help of mapping function. Then the problem will look like a linearly separable. Okay, then what will happen? Then we can easily identify and classify the given problem. Okay, so see this diagram, this is the RBF network is shown here, where x1, x2, xn, these are the inputs. Okay, we need to apply, okay, if how many number of inputs are there, that much hidden, that much that we will apply the mapping function, okay, at the hidden layer. Okay, so we have n input layer, we will apply m mapping function, and all these with weight will participate in the decision making, okay, or final classification. So which function we use? We use the function, okay, h of x is nothing but exponential minus the exponential is nothing but the e raised to x minus, in bracket, x minus c bracket square divided by r square, and the final is nothing but the whatever the value we have got, I will term it as a h, I can term it as a phi, it can be anything, this is just a mapping function. So h of x into wi, and we will see this is nothing but the neural network where we have seen our output is always weighted sum of all the inputs. Weighted sum means what? Wi into h1 of x, w2 into w1 into h1 of x plus w2 into h2 of x, so on, wm into hmx. So summation from 1 to m with all weights and with all functions will give the classification. Okay, so according to the Cover's theorem, it is easy to classify the non-linear data. So let's see the example so that you can easily understand the concept. In our example, what is asked here? They have asked us to construct RBF pattern for classifier, so that, okay, this is the XOR gate, okay, so that first this 0 0 and 1 1 should mapped into the class 0, and that class should be C1, and this 1 0 and 0 1 should map to the 1, and its class must be class C2. So first step is what? Plot those data points into the two-dimensional data. If you plot this point, then you can see that it cannot be possible, okay, to draw the hyperplane so that this 0 0 and 1 1 will be in one group, and 0 1 and 1 0 will be another group. So this problem is called as the non-linear problem. So how RBF is useful for it? Let's see the solution. Okay, first what we are going to do here, okay, we are going to select, as we have seen here, there are two inputs, so we will select two centers. Okay, we are select two centers for the classification. Okay, we'll select two center for the classification. So let's assume that I have selected 0 0 as one center and 1 1 as the another center. Okay, then see, these centers are represented using the mu. Let's select the center randomly. Mu1 is equal to 0 0 and mu2 equal to 1 1. Okay, next see what activation function we are going to use here. So the activation function of hidden neuron we will use as h of x I have represented using the phi. Phi I is represented using the magnitude of the distance of data point from the center, okay, which is represented using the e raised to minus m1 divided by d max square, and magnitude of, this is vector, okay, this is a vector, this term represents the magnitude, okay, so this is max minus mu I and bracket square. Okay, so what we can write here, where m1 is number of centers and d max is nothing but the distance of those centers from each other. Okay, m1 means what? How many centers we have selected for this particular problem? So we have selected two centers, 0 0 and 1 1. So m1 value is 2, and the d max is nothing but the distance of these two centers. So how we can compute the distance? Simple, we will use the distance formula. What is our distance formula? Distance formula is nothing but the square root of, in bracket, x1 minus x2 bracket square plus y1 minus y2 bracket square. Okay, so here our x1 y1 is 0 0 and x2 y2 is 1 1. So we will compute the d max, 0 minus 1 bracket square plus 0 minus 1 bracket square, and we will find the square root, that is nothing but 1.414, and we are using the square term, so ultimately this value will be 2. So if you put the values of m1 and d max in the equation, so what will be our equation? Phi 1x equal to e raised to, okay, e raised to minus, see, m1 divided by d max square. So m1 is 2 and d max is 1.414, and square is nothing but the 2. So 2 divided by 2, and magnitude of x minus mu1. X means distance of the data point from the selected center. Okay, this x minus m1 is what? Distance of the data point from the selected center. So here we can find m minus mu1 square with respect to the center 0 0 and center 1 1. So as I have told you that there are two centers, so definitely we will use the two activation function. The first activation function, okay, with respect to mu1, and the second activation function will be phi2, okay, phi2 x, where e raised to minus, we can simply put the values of m1 and d max square, okay, so 2 by 2, okay, and magnitude of x minus m2 square. So in the first equation we will find the distance of the given data point with respect to center 0 0, and in the second activation function we will find the distance related to 1 1. Okay, we will see the next example in the next video. Thank you.